This is a Jmix exclusive.
Okay, we should be streaming live here in just a second. I just didn't want anything said publicly that we don't want to say publicly.
Right.
But hold on, let me pull it up. Let's see if we're live.
I'm seeing it now.
Yo, snap, we're live. I guess I should take the 1 moment screen off. And we are public too, so that is fantastic. Yo, snap, we're live. I can hear myself on yours. Why am I green? I turned green all of a sudden.
You did turn green. Yeah, you're like something out of a weird sci-fi movie.
I cannot light this to save my life. I've got fluorescence and everything. Weird.
Light bulb. I'll give you a light bulb or something.
So what's up, everybody? Kyle Dolsky, Clayton Gibson, Queen Leo from the 502. I've never seen you here before, so shout out to you. To my moderator, All About Asia. Hey, how you doing?
What up?
JM Kazi Podcast as always, and I highly recommend everybody go check out JM Kazi Podcast because he's got an interview with yours truly. Subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of good stuff on there, and we want to see him reach 1,000. And Largo 323 East LA, what's up? Ryan Gregory, blessed always. Apocalypse Now, Brandon Senior, Taker Fan 108. RJ, welcome to the show, buddy.
What's up, Jesse? Hey, everybody, what's going on? Brothers, and sisters. Welcome to the Church of RJ and Jesse. As always, we chop it up and do the things and say the things that we want to say. Why? Because we can, damn it. Let's see. Welcome, blessed always. Welcome, Rob Williams. X-Con, what up? RJ, what up, X-Con, brother? What's going on, everybody? Largo 323 East LA, what up? We'll give it a chance for everybody to kind of load up and jump on board. I should be actually pulling up the whole page so I can see how many people we got. But Jesse could let me know periodically, maybe. I'm just looking at the comments now, how many people are on board. So we'll just roll like that. Listen, guys, not a huge agenda for tonight. Jesse's been kind of sick, and my kids have been sick. So we've been kind of just being kind of laying low a little bit. But Jesse, you want to tell them what we're working on?
Yes. If you've noticed, and I wanted to say to everybody, first and foremost, preamble this statement a little bit. Thank you for the love and support that you gave on the Suge Knight video. I put about 21 hours into that. It could have turned out a little bit better, I think, but I think overall the message got out there. So thank you guys for that. I wanted to let you know that we are going to start cleaning the archives here. This is a makeup stream. Yesterday I was sick. But we've got some unseen video and we have unheard audio that is coming your way next week. And I've got some videos in the process that I'm not going to throw out just whatever 10-minute video I can. I'm going to start doing full-length, in-depth videos on certain topics just so everybody understands and gets the full context of what we're trying to say and do. So be on the lookout for that. That is the big announcement. RJ, if you care to elaborate on that, you can.
Well, look, check this out. I've been doing this game now for 10 years, 12 years actually, since 2006 and before. So I have literal hard drives. I've got a whole drawer of hard drives where I've got, gigs and gigs and gigs of interviews. I've got old footage. I've got footage of people I haven't seen before. That's where I keep all this shit so that I can get it, put it in my editing machine when I need it. But you're talking about, 10 years worth of curating, not just documents, but interviews and stuff. So, folks, we're gonna be putting up a lot of stuff. We're gonna be showing a lot of unseen footage, unseen conversations, unheard conversations. A lot of things like that, because again, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that content is out there. Jesse, look at that. Jesse's got just scads of stuff. There's the briefcase. It looked like a Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes briefcase. So anyway, we got a ton of stuff. And we're just, it doesn't no good to sit on our hard drives doing nothing. So we'll just go ahead and do that. A few quick shout outs. Tim Garcia, welcome to the show. Ryan Gregory, Corey Turner, welcome to the show. Yeezy says, Jmix and RJ, I have to tell you guys who I sat next to for dinner this past Saturday. Please do tell. We would love to know. We'd love to know all about it, Yeezy.
To address Machiavelli PR, you said you let a certain YouTuber on his comments know what a whack person he was for the Suge video yesterday. You know what's funny about that? I read your comment. Apparently, he only read the first line of it, and he loved your comment. He didn't read the comment, and I thought that was the best comment that I had ever seen, Machiavelli PR. So, yeah, no doubt, dude, that's hilarious, man. That is hilarious. Sorry, RJ, I kind of interrupted you there.
Oh, that's okay. No, I mean, listen, basically, anybody gets on a YouTube video and says, hey, I've got all these recorded conversations and I've got all these emails and I've got all these private chats. And if somebody wants to email me, I will give them the illegally recorded conversations. They are dumb, dumb, dumb. So, we'll just kind of let that play out for what it is.
So, we just got a couple things to talk about. Like I said, this is a makeup stream. I was pretty sick. I did happen to catch Bomb First interview with Mob James. That was pretty interesting. I kind of told them that I wouldn't make a response to that. I just kind of let it sit. So I don't want to discuss their interview or try to pick it apart at the present moment. I'd rather it just sit for what it is. But I tell you what, you brought up Reggie Wright Jr., RJ. Do you want to give an update on maybe what's going on? A lot of people are asking about a debate. Is there any updates to be had?
Yeah, the camps are talking right now. The camps are talking, and we're trying to set up the details of exactly how that would go down. I mean, even the best prize fights in the world, the biggest heavyweight championships in the world, are organized, and that's really, I think, the biggest problem with all these debates and everything is that, you want it to be fair for all sides, so it's not an attack one way or another, or just spiral into an argument or whatever. So you set up ground rules, and the camps are talking right now. Some people are talking to other people, and those people are talking to those people, and we're working it out. So there will be a conversation, I promise you that.
And I want to address people that say, well, RJ Bond wants this on camera because it's all about the money. I would like to say, look, if you really want to see a discussion between someone who's been investigating it for 12 years and someone who's proclaiming his innocence, don't you guys want to see that on camera? I mean, it's hard to have a conversation with someone and get their reactions and see how that they're reacting to the question, the Q&A session, over a telephone call. So I think it's more about due diligence, and I just think it's more about presentation. If you guys would really like to see that, I think what they're doing, and I'm speaking for myself here, is working out the kinks on how to present that to the public.
Yeah. So we're gonna, one of the things we're gonna work on doing, and again, let me clear something up so I'm not misquoted by anybody who would troll. I do not believe that there is nobility in poverty. Okay, I don't believe that. I don't believe that everything should be free. My electric company tends to agree with me on that. So does the gas company and my mortgage and everybody else. They all tend to agree that there's no glory in poverty. Okay, so and if anybody tells you that, they're bullshitting you anyway. Bottom line is that if I make money on doing something, or somebody makes money, or Reggie makes money, Greg Kading's making money. I'm sorry, should I be the one that does it? I mean, are you all going to, start a Kickstarter campaign to go fund me while I'm doing things for free? I don't think so. And I've never asked anybody to. In fact, there's been others that have started GoFundMe and Kickstarters and all that. And I prided myself on the fact that I haven't. I take my own money, I do my own thing, and I put it out. If you like it, you buy it. We've always said it that way. So, yeah, there's going to be a conversation with Reggie and I. We're going to make it happen. We're just trying to figure out the details of how it's going to work. And that's it, because neither one of us are running, and I think that's a good thing. I think we're all ready to rock and roll here. Jesse, I do have to compliment you publicly on the show presentation. It was very well done, my friend. Thought it was great. You made some good points, and even the LA Times liked it. So you're getting some good traction.
You caught that, huh? LA,
yeah,
I do that. Look, this information, some of the information I put out was insider information. Some of the information I put out is stuff that the LA Times already had. But notice that they weren't saying anything until my presentation. And look, I want to make it very clear. I'm glad that they're talking about it. I just wish that they would have attributed at least a couple of their talking points to me, but that's okay. I'm not mad at them for it.
No, not at all. A few more shout outs, man. We got people piling onto the show. Nickenzio1, welcome to the show. Don Illuminati. Kenneth McLean, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. Duque, Aaron Powers, again, I think I already said that. Holden Caulfield, King James. I'm rolling through these things. My gosh, so many names of people. We're going to have to and spend an hour just getting everybody names. Tyrell Williams. I just want to know if Pac's dead or not. Everybody beating around the bush. No, he's dead. Okay? He's dead. He's deader than Julius Caesar. Let's leave it at that. All right.
Well, can I say something on that? Listen, if anybody wished that Tupac was still alive, it's me. But it's just not the case, guys.
Yeah.
And there's people out there that they're talking about the case. They want to solve the case. They want to crowdsource the truth about who killed Tupac. And a couple months later, they're talking to people like Malik Shakur, who was a fraud. And notice none of those videos exist anymore. They took those down. So
there's a question from Tyrell Williams. Good point, Jess. Do people from his family, I'm guessing you're asking, if people from his family make money off the documentaries that are made out of respect? I can tell you this, Russell Poole's family got paid from Battle for Compton. He contributed to that. Even posthumously, and his family got paid. The Tupac Shakur Foundation has been paid from the TASF. The foundation was paid from the assassination movies. Yes, we do give back, and we try to stay in touch with the people that are the subject matters of what we do. In fact, these first two assassination movies were vetted by the estate. They showed up, did a screening for assassination. Everybody knows that. So yeah, we do. So just, yes, we do. And we feel pretty good about that. Hey, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, King Third, do me a favor, drop the name of your album so we can promote the album. I always kind of generic about it because I know you got a new album out. Scratch me a title of that album. We'll put it out and, we're going to go grab a couple of tracks from it. We'll play it on the next show or something. So we'll do that.
Yeezy 808 is saying that he sat with Dre.
Yeah, but okay, now check this out. This is the thing about Yeezy. You know what? I see so many people do this, and okay, it's no secret to people that know that I worked in the motion picture industry for a period of time. Everybody knows that. And they know that I worked on some pretty big movies like Titanic, Volcano, Godzilla, Starship Troopers. I worked on some pretty big flicks in the 90s. And they had a big thing about, you're not supposed to bring your cell phones weren't around a lot. You couldn't bring cameras. If you had a cell phone, you'd bring that. You weren't supposed to take any pictures. And everybody was like, oh, there's the actor. And then they wouldn't, talk to the actors and everything. And so I kind of get this whole thing about, they have this unwritten rule about not bothering celebrities. They want to be bothered. And you know what? Listen, if a celebrity doesn't want to be bothered, they will tell you they don't want to be bothered. It's pretty simple. They'll tell you that. And I think it's nice to be respectful, but it's also nice occasionally to have somebody know that you really appreciate what you're doing. I mean, when I went and I met Quincy Jones, and he's the hot topic right now. God, I wish that article had come out before I met him. Before I sat down and had dinner with him, I wish that would have come out. But man, because I would have had 1,000 questions for that cat at that time.
Do you think that he's just old and doesn't care anymore? Or do you think that that's coming from a place of maybe a dementia sort of thing? What is your take on the things that he said?
He done lost his mind. No, I think he's kind of been there and seen it all. I mean, I think at this point, and I think half the people who he's telling stories about are dead. So it's another one of those blame the dead guy kind of things. If you think about it, Richard Pryor getting it all with Marlon Brando. I mean, what? I mean, who would make that shit up? And then it was confirmed by Richard Pryor's wife that Marlon Brando would, as Quincy Jones words, Marlon Brando would fuck a mailbox. Okay, that's what she said. That's what they said. So anyway, that's what come up. So yeah, I wish I'd had that chance to talk to Quincy. But anyway, check this out. What I was going to say about that is, next time you see Dre, there's nothing wrong with, you don't have to sit there and occupy an hour of his time, but there's nothing wrong with saying, hey brother, I appreciate your work, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. And, half the time when you do that, it's been my experience anyway, it's certainly that way on Titanic when I worked on it, when you actually do go and you say something to them like that, there's a certain move you could make. And as long as you're humble and as long as you're that, half the time the celebrity, if they see you got a cell phone, they're like, hey, you want to take a selfie? Sure. And you just click, you take a selfie and you're done. Because they know ultimately that's what you want. You want to take a picture with them and they can beat you to it. And then you don't spend an hour bothering them. They just get to it. Hey, you want a picture? Sure. Take a click. You're done. So don't be afraid to talk to celebrities. They're people too. They put their pants on the same way. Just because Dre, has the money and all that kind of thing easy, next time just, tell your wife, hey, I got this handled. Just tell the man you respect what he has to do. Keep it short. That's been my experience, and that's why I've got some great pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio, people like that. They're just folks, man, and you get to talk to them. Tommy Lee Jones, same way. A lot of people, they do that, but it's kind of a false reality, and I think that you'd be surprised how receptive a lot of celebrities really are when you come up to them. Other than that, they're pretty laid back, so it's all right.
Reggie Wright Jr. is not blocked on this channel. I have never blocked Reggie Wright Jr. from commenting on this channel.
Nope. He's not at all. And let's see what else. Funk Mob 21, RJ and Jmix. Have you guys seen the Gobi video on that YouTube one? He's talking about he's trying to put out his video of unreleased Tupac footage. That will never happen. I got an update about that too. You don't know this. When I was talking to Tracy Robinson, she was telling me that she was just deposed by the estate because they're knee deep suing Gobi right now. Gobi's in freaking legal hot water right now. The estate is trying to get all of that footage that he shot and all of that behind the scenes footage. I don't think they have a right to it, but I think they tie you up in court enough. And that's all they want at the end of the day. They want all that behind the scenes footage because they're trying to do their own documentary. And that, it's my opinion, but but Gobi, she had to go and give a deposition as to how those tapes were made and Gobi's relationship to Tupac and whether or not she owned the tapes and whether or not he owned the tapes. And so, no, he's in so much legal hot water right now with those tapes. There isn't going to be, for what it's worth, I like Gobi. I've got no beef with Gobi, but at the same time, you get Gobi beef. That sounds like Kobe beef, doesn't it? It sounds like a steak. But I have no beef with Gobi, and I wish him well in the litigation against the estate. But they're out for blood, so that documentary is not coming out anytime soon.
Tatovo, I just want to address one of the questions. I told John when they did the Mob James interview that I would not do a response video on it right away. If RJ wants to field the question on Mob James saying it was Orlando who killed Pac, he can. I think it's pretty well known that RJ doesn't agree with that, but it's like I asked.
Well, Gustavo, Mob James wasn't there. Okay, unless he physically saw him do it, that anybody could say who they think did it. But at the end of the day, unless you were literally right there and watched him do it, and you were sitting in the car with him, like Keith Davis claims to have been, you really have no real say on the matter one way or another about it. You're definitely, you can be informed on the matter. You can make an informed opinion about it, but you're not really a witness. So, your opinion is no different than anybody else's, really, at the end of the day.
To address Chi-Town, My Town, you said Tupac granted him that footage. I think you're mistaken. Gobi was work for hire. Tupac hired Gobi to film that. Now, when that happens, that doesn't mean that Gobi owns the footage. It means that either whoever hired him owns the footage. They're paying Gobi to film him. So when Gobi is filming him, Gobi is working for Tupac at that time, so it's Tupac's footage. Now, it's a little bit different when it comes to the Frank footage, because Frank was just in there filming the studio session. That's Frank's footage. But when it comes to Gobi, and no offense to Gobi, I'm not taking shots at Gobi, but the whole problem with the 7 Days movie was the argument that Gobi was work for hire, and work for hire does not own copyright of what you film. Like, if they hired me to film a movie, and I go on there and I'm with my camera and I'm filming scenes for the movie, I don't own the copyright to that movie.
Well, let's put this, let me put it in perspective. What if you grabbed a video camera while they were making the movie Titanic and you just decided you were going to post up your own videos about making the movie Titanic, you get slammed for it. You know, it's not your footage, it's not your set, it's not your movie. So, you know, that's kind of how it goes like that. So let's let's see. I don't know who Tatavo. Welcome to the show. He's the one that asked that question. He followed it up with I don't know. You know, I'm not going to get baited into a debate about this, but it says, so should people not believe you and your thoughts, RJ? You weren't there either. You're absolutely right, and I've never said that you should or shouldn't. You believe what you want to believe. You know, we put the facts out there like we see them. We put the documents out there. But if you'd bother to actually watch my movies and go get a copy of Assassination, hang on a second.
All right, I'll take it from here. You know what? Listen, I see that Pennywise the dancing on these clowns. Look, you know what? Just because people watch the channel doesn't exactly make them dick riders. I mean, you know, they can agree or disagree. I try not to block anybody. Now, I do have mods on here, and if you're out of line in the chat, you get blocked. But, you know, I've kept it pretty open, even for, you know, Lay Legend. So, I'm not...
So check this out. Check this out. Can you see this? Because I don't know if you can see this or not. But if you look at this, is Tupac Assassination. That's the first Tupac Assassination movie. And it says right there, you be the judge. Okay? We put it out just like we say it. You know, we don't expect anybody to just back what we have to say 100% without doing their own due diligence. And there are plenty of people that don't agree with us. So I say you believe what you want to believe. Okay? Because I wasn't there either. You're damn right about that. I'm glad I wasn't. I might have gotten shot. I'm glad I wasn't there. Period. You know, I know what happened to Frank Alexander as a result of being there. And even though he didn't get shot, he sure suffered as a result. In fact, I don't think there was any single person that was there that didn't suffer as a result of it. So anyway, so that's all I'm going to say about that.
Would you like to tease what we got coming in the future?
Let's see here. I'm catching up on the comments here.
Okay, that's fine. While you
Kenny
do
McLean,
that,
you got it. Yeah, read. I think it's he's doing an article for a GQ magazine where he's got some things to say about it. It's all over the internet right now. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's see. Mob James makes some great points. Yeah, he did, especially that point where he said that Reggie should know about, you know, the Biggie thing. Reggie should be the one to comment about who killed Biggie. That was a huge gotcha moment. But we're not gonna get into that. Let's see here. Check it out. Let's see here. You know what? And I'm going to tell you. Other than that, we're not going to. This is going to be kind of the Reggie free zone, I think, from this point, right? From today's conversation, we could talk about lots of other things.
Well, I want to say this. Look,
this show isn't I hate Reggie show.
No, here the thing is look. People ask, hey, RJ, why won't you talk, or why won't you have a conversation, or why won't you debate Reggie? So we put out a video, and I asked him the question, and there's a line of communication right now. So until then, until that happens, you know what? I'm not going to talk about Reggie. I'm not going to put anything out about Reggie until Reggie has his chance to speak to RJ, and then we can discuss it. But until then, you guys know how I feel and where I stand, and until proven otherwise, you know, I'm not going to take pot shots at the guy. I'll give to his credit, he has been very forthcoming with people, and he has been very vocal. So until this happens, or, you know, until they agree on a setting and how they're going to do this, we're going to let Reggie, I'm going to cut him a break and let this happen.
Chi-town, my town. Figure out a way to get a hold of Jesse. Since you went through hell to get the first Tupac assassination, maybe I'll sign a copy and I'll send it to you. So Chi-town, my town. Get Jesse your contact information. I'll get you a copy of Assassination signed. I respect anybody who admits that they had a difficult time getting it. You know, when we put the first Assassination movie out, it was a pain in the ass because it was at Target, it was at Walmart, and it was everything. But they weren't putting it with the documentary movies. They were putting it in the music section. And people were going looking on the documentary section trying to find it. They couldn't find it. We used to get all kinds of flack from people. Oh, we were at Target, we couldn't find it. And we found out that they were putting it in the music section. So I was like, damn, okay, well, now we know where it is. And by the time we finally got around and figured out where it was, you know, so we're doing that. Okay, yeah, I think... let's see here. King Third. Good.
Look, nobody's going soft on Bomb First, MacArthur Productions. I'm not going soft on Bomb First. But when you talk, I talked to John, and when there's a mutual respect there,
There ain't
I
no mutual respect between me and John. I think John's a piece of shit. I'll just put it right out there like that, okay? That guy's done me no favors and said not one nice thing about me. So you think we're going soft on Bomb First now? I don't think so.
I'm gonna call this the calm before the storm. There's a storm brewing, and the more information that gets out there, the bigger it's gonna be when it finally hits. Like I stated earlier in the live stream, I'm working on something pretty big, and instead of pumping out 10-minute videos, I'm gonna put out long pieces like you see with Suge Knight, and I'm gonna explain my position very well. And we showed our hard drives. There's tons of content that we have, and you know what? The people that are saying that we're in the money, it's in it for the money. We're just going to drop it. We're just going to start putting this stuff out for you guys to see, because I think if it's one thing to see us say stuff publicly, but if we pull that curtain back and we show you what we're dealing with and the information that we have, I think it might change your mind. It might change some people's minds.
Rob Johnson, welcome to the show. Do you think the warden will let y'all do the debate in the prison yard with Reggie? I don't know. They let Dick Broomfield in with Suge when they did a debate with Suge in prison. They interviewed him. So, okay. Third said, and by the way, Third, I still haven't seen the name of your album yet, dude. I know you're listening. Okay. Can you answer my question? Okay. What do I think about the Alana Jackson interview? You know what? I can tell you that there's two sides to every story. I'm one of the few people that have actually listened to about 3 hours of interview with Charles Fuller about that very topic, where he was interviewed and gave a to-the-minute description of things and how things went down both before, during, and after it, which very few other people have heard. And when you hear that and you hear what she has to say, there's a huge difference between the stories. So I'm a little leery about it. And I think, you also got to look at the sign of the times. This is the Me Too moment. This is when, everybody's climbing on the he did this to me bandwagon. And I'm not saying it's not appropriate, and I'm not saying it's not good, but you got to ask yourself, kind of, when is it going to stop? And, it's something that happened 20 years ago. And he was tried and he was convicted and he went through our court system. She had plenty she could have said at that time. She said enough because she got him prosecuted. So, but to hear Charles Fuller talking about the events and you're talking about the events, I'm not calling either one a liar, but I am saying there's a big difference between the two. And I'm just not believing a lot of what she's telling.
Well, I want to say something about Vlad. Now, I've been asked and I've been accused by other people that said, Jesse, you would have interviewed her. I hope you realize I have turned down certain interviews. I did an interview with Tony Green, and he said what he had to say, and I probably shouldn't have done it. But I'm going to say this about Vlad and Miss Jackson, and I don't want to give her any more press. First and foremost, shout out to the art of dialogue. People trying to create a beef there. There's no beef there. I love his content. So shout out to him. But this is what I'm going to say about her. If Vlad would have put out the part where this last part that he put out, where he discredits her, if he would have done that from the beginning and then showed what she had to say, I would have had a little bit more respect for Vlad. But he didn't. He
waited to hear the public feed, let her blab on, and didn't tell her how he really felt about it.
And he let millions of views rack up of her slander Tupac before he felt the negative feedback and said, okay, I guess I better put out this part. So, I get accused of culture vulturing, and RJ gets accused of culture vulturing, when the simple fact of the matter is, I'm not putting Tupac's Accuser up on a platform. I think if you deduce it very simply, Tupac would have never went to jail had it not been for her. He would have never went to Death Row Records had it not been for her. Not in that way where he did the prison contract. And he might not be dead. I mean, this woman may well be inadvertently responsible for the death of Tupac, just because of the sequence of events that she set in motion. And you know what? I don't respect Vlad. And people are going to say, Jesse, you're jealous of Vlad. I'm not jealous of Vlad. I'm never jealous of another man's success, but I have every right to criticize Vlad.
Yep. Hey, real good. Kenny McLean, I agree with you about hopping on 15 minutes. I don't think that Pac won his appeal posthumously. I think they dismissed the case. They dismissed the case against him posthumously because he's dead, so there's no case anymore. And that may kind of equate to the same way that's like being found not guilty versus being acquitted or having the charges dropped. If the charges are dropped, you could say, well, I was found not guilty or I wasn't guilty, charges were dropped, or case was dismissed. That could be the same. But I think to say that he won his appeal, I think you'd actually have to kind of go through the whole thing and on the merits and the weight of the case itself. And since he wasn't there to present his side, I don't think it was really kind of saying that.
Big Boys Boxing. Now, this is going to be a sensitive topic, and I'm going to be as careful as I can when I talk about it. He said, anyone white who sticks up for Pac gets screwed over in the end. I've seen it a million times. The race trolls will always win some people over. I think that's kind of accurate. I think playing that race card, is an unfair thing to do. Can I not have love for Tupac? Can I not care about Tupac? Should I just hang my hat up because I'm not a black man? So, I mean, I appreciate your comment, but if you guys logged into your YouTube and saw the comments that I see and that are held comments or detected as spam, it's amazing to, it's amazing to see where the real racism is coming from, and to have channels pull that card is a very, very low blow, because when people run out of arguments, they go instantly to ad hominem attacks, and I think that the race card is a very weak card to play. I think it's intellectually dishonest, and it's disingenuous.
Yeah, I think it is too. I mean, look, the thing about it is that how many times I've been accused of being a racist and all that, and the bottom line is it's not true, but at the end of the day, we don't make race an issue here. Okay, that's never part of our conversation. We don't really. I mean, I bag on Greg Kading and Kathy Scott and people like that just as much freely as and Gobi and everybody else as I bag on Reggie or I bag on anybody else. So I don't really see where that's coming from, other than it's just it's like you're trying to climb a wall and you're just looking for something to grab a hold of so that you can stay on the wall. I mean, that's really what it is to me. Otherwise, you just fall off because you really have nothing to contribute. So that's what I think, guys.
To Gino Moulton, I have a whole interview with Gene Deal, and he has a lot to say about Greg Kading, and that will be aired on this channel very, very soon. And I'd like to say to Tatavo, Vlad let her speak, and that's fine. Let's give her account first before you disprove it. Fuck her account. She gave it in court. Why would we give her I mean, are you a Tupac fan? Or are you a Alana Jackson fan?
Yeah, kind of like, whose side are you on? Because this whole conversation, you've been doing nothing but trying to take this contrarian, oppositional opinion on everything. I don't know. You're the devil's advocate for the day or something. I don't know. But what did Third ask? Third, you said asked RJ because he interviewed Man. What did you ask me? I'm rolling back through the comments, but I'm not seeing it. The gym of the treadmill. Okay. All right. Listen, Supreme. We are going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation like gentlemen. That's what this is all about right now. Okay, this is kind of the end of the road, one way or another. It's the end of the road. Okay, this kind of sword fighting doesn't keep up forever. I mean, and I dare say, and this would be the only thing I'll say about it, is that in the absence of information over 10 years, in the absence of information. When you learn new information, there's new facts, there's things that may not be known. I mean, that's just part of detective work in general. When you find new facts and new things that are known, that's what that's what you do. And again, there's no reason that, this doesn't need to be a fucking cage match or an octagon match. We're going to get together and we're going to have the hard conversation. And that's the only way I'll do it, is if I can ask the hard questions. But I think those questions can be asked respectfully. I think they can be asked intelligently, and it doesn't have to devolve into an argument. And that's all I've ever
I want to
said.
know, as a Tupac fan, how you're going to defend that interview with Vlad and Miss Jackson. I don't even understand the knowledge. I mean, the way of thinking with that. She got him put in jail, and most likely that case got him shot up at the quad. I'm sorry, man. I'm done with it. But like, to answer Rolex Enterprise, what happened to the Tanique exposed content? Okay, this is what happened. I did a live stream last night, and it wasn't at 4 a.m. like Mr. Potato Head likes to say. I did it at about 11 o'clock Central. I'm not in Jacksonville. Okay, I'm in Illinois. I did it Central Time. So that's 9 o'clock LA time. What I did is I said, look, I've been battling the flu. It's been going on. The live stream will be tomorrow. And I wanted to point out the fact that he has no original content. He piggybacks off us. And I put it up on my Patreon, and I put it on the 313 Live page that's private. I'm going to put it back up on the backup channel, but I shouldn't have said his name. But the video was just an announcement. It wasn't.
Mr. Potato Head is good.
But the video was an announcement. It wasn't an all-out attack. It was just me pointing at him and criticizing him and laughing and going, ha, 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 look at this guy. But like I said before, the more people talking about Suge Knight, the better. But, you have to pick something. Is Tupac dead? Is Tupac alive? Why do you care about Suge Knight? If he, did Suge Knight do it? Did Suge Knight didn't? Pick a lane and stay the fuck in it. And I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Figure out where where your groove is. If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. All right. So let's check back on the thing here. Let's see here. Top ramen. I ain't gonna go there. Looks like there's so many comments on there. Let's see here. We are the Don. RJ, I miss you, bro. Well, I'm here, man. I don't know. I'm here. We're here every week, so that's what we're doing. Any updates on Reggie Sr. or Reggie Jr.'s court case? No. That nothing happens until March, so that's kind of on hold right now. Let's see here.
I got a question for you, RJ, concerning Reggie Wright Sr.
Okay.
Do you think, I'm asking you to speculate, you think they're going to, because of his age and because of his, being a police officer, you think they're going to cut him a break in this?
Well, I think that he has a lot of friends at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, that he worked there for many years. I think he's got a lot of friends at Compton PD who are still with the LA County Prosecutor's Office. But again, his friends aren't federal. He doesn't have any friends at the federal level. I do think that they may cut him some slack because of his age, but there's a lot of old timers that are in jail too. But again, I don't know what his involvement was. I don't know what his, and again, part of my hesitancy about all this is because, charges always look worse when they're filed. But one of the things that, was clear to me was that when they were showing what's called the bill of particulars, which is actually the charges and how they arrived at these prosecutions, there were bank accounts that had like Reggie's name on the bank account that they were putting the money in. And one of the bank accounts had Reggie Sr.'s name on it, but he also had Reggie's mother's name on it. Okay. Like an account with his mom's name on it. And generally speaking, that's kind of something you don't usually see in criminal cases. You don't see like the mom or the wife's name on the account, like a joint account like that. And so it does tend to lead the question of that peculiarity as to whether or not maybe accounts might have been opened in their name. Somebody at the bank may have opened them in somebody's name. Really, I don't know what beyond that they have on Reggie Sr. I don't have access to the evidence there, but I guess it could be argued that it might be easy for him to have been roped or duped into this, or he was a part of it. I don't know, but I think that because of his age, I do think in his time spent in community service, I think that will give him some leniency. And then, of course, depending on what Reggie does, and if Reggie can have any influence, Reggie Jr. can have any influence and maybe take some of that on the back for his dad. I mean, you know, that's what kids will do for their parents and parents do for their kids. So that's...
To address Kenneth McLean, he says, I don't think they can with federal stuff, can they? Don't they have mandatory minimums? They do, but it is up to the prosecutor. They can drop charges, they can lower charges, they can change charges, and they can reach different agreements when it comes to that. Now, as it sits, yes, there is a federal mandatory minimum, but we haven't got to the point where anybody's been convicted of anything yet. So anything really can happen at this point. And it also...
and they do have the right to change their pleading too. What they're filing as, so they could say, you know, it's like that whole murder, manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter. I've always said the big problem with the Suge Knight case is that they went for murder one. They went for the highest possible murder thing they could get, which is a murder beyond a reasonable doubt. And there's so much reasonable doubt, it's silly. And they could have refiled under several different other smaller, less serious categories and put him in jail because the standard isn't as high of proof. But, you know, they were just so willing to want to go for the absolute worst possible outcome. But, you know, prosecutors do have that. Yeah. And prosecutors have the discretion of being able to, and by the way, murder one is the only one really that you can't dial that one down. Once you filed it and you put it out there, you really can't dial that down. They might plea bargain it down, but you really can't file it down as a prosecutor. Prosecutorial discretion in federal cases is a little bit different. Before there's a plea entered, they can actually change and refile their charge as to what they're being charged with. So that it's like a play on words, Ken. It's kind of a, yeah, there's minimum sentencing guidelines, but depending on what the final charge they're charging him with and what he pleads to might be a reduced charge. So then the sentencing guideline would be smaller than that. I remember, Kenny's right. I remember when Tanique warned everyone that the earth was going to go into darkness with no sunlight for 14 days straight. But, you know, that was brought to you by the same people with the heart attack gun, you know, that killed Russell Poole. So, you know, just consider your source. That's all I can say. Consider your source.
And Machiavelli 1996 says, I have a question for y'all. Do you guys know if Pac had something to do with Stretch's murder? Because Stretch was with Pac at the Quad Studio shooting and turned his back, and he was killed a year to the day afterwards. I have it on pretty good merit that Stretch was killed over a cocaine deal gone wrong, and he was shot in a vehicle sitting outside E Moneybag's house. So I don't believe that Tupac had anything to do with that. Stretch was a real street dude, and he was doing real street things. And as unfortunate as it is, I've been told from multiple sources that it was over cocaine.
Yeah. RJ, Margaret Lewis asks, RJ, why does Sean Combs get such little conversation? Well, there's my personal opinion why he doesn't get a lot of conversation, because number one, he doesn't want to talk about it, and he's pretty much made that clear on radio. But the reason we don't talk about it over here is because we don't think he had anything to do with it. I mean, he may have indirectly had something to do with it, but we don't think he had anything directly to do with it. At least there's not enough evidence that has clearly shown that at this point, as far as we're concerned. But that, I think that's why. So without understanding your question a little bit better, that's kind of where we're going with that. Let's see here. King Third. Okay, finally, he says my album isn't done yet, but I dropped a new single called "Love with a Lie." So "Love with a Lie" by Third Degree is on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Tidal, or wherever you can find good beat songs. And that would be it. "Love with a Lie" by Third Degree. That's like something a commercial plug, didn't it?
It did. It did.
All right. So let's see. Any other questions that we got? We're gonna wrap this up in about 10 minutes. So if you got some questions, now's the time to throw them, because you know, this is kind of a rare thing. RJ's not been on a big rant tonight, so you know, it's kind of rare. This is like the subtle, subdued RJ.
Before the questions, just a friendly reminder: big things coming on the next live stream.
Yep, we're cleaning out the archives.
Footage, audio,
video,
things that people have paid lots of money to see. We're gonna give it to you for free.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Can they find him guilty of a lesser charge? Yeah, they can. That was kind of what I was getting at. They can reclassify his charges and give him that. Let's see. So Tatavo asks again. You know, here we go with the incendiary comments. Are you still planning on stepping away from all things Tupac? Yes, I am actually. That's all part of this, and that's one of the reasons I've agreed to have the conversation with Reggie, is because it's not that I'm stepping away from all things Tupac. Let's put that in perspective for a minute, okay? I'll always be involved in what happens. Will I be in the active production of documentaries and doing interviews and things like that? No, I won't. I've got other priorities, and I've got some other topics of interest that I believe are equally socially relevant to what I've been working on for the past 10 years. And I'd like to move on to do some different things. So, so yes, I won't be as actively involved with it as I had been, that's for sure. But it doesn't mean that I'm completely walking away from it and hanging up my guns like you'll never hear from me again. When the time is right, we'll certainly talk more about it. But that's really what it comes down to.
Read the Dayz interview to address that. I spoke to him on Instagram just yesterday, I believe, and he said, "Yeah, no worries, I got you, Jay. I'm just waiting for the date." When I post this live stream, and I'll keep this in, when I post a segment for the public, you can put your questions down for Dayz, and what I'm going to try to do with the Dayz interview is do it live, so you guys can ask questions live for Dayz. I have a lot of interesting stories that I would like him to touch upon. And, I've got a certain amount of respect for Dayz, because after, Death Row crumbled and fell apart, you know what? Dayz did pretty well for himself. And coming out of Death Row, that is a rarity.
Who's our mod tonight? Who's our moderator tonight?
We have DJ Gary in the house. We have All About Asia. We have Shazi 187.
Asia Tatavo's gone. All right. And he can be back next week, but he needs to come a little bit more respect, because I see where he's going with this. All right, so let's. Kenny, I agree. It would be nice if they air the Suge trial on Court TV. The LA press will cover it a lot. I know there's going to be a lot of coverage of it in the LA area. I'm not sure what interest there is outside of the LA area. Maybe there's politics involved with it. So again, remains to be seen. But again, the whole point of Battle for Compton, if you haven't seen it, maybe we'll replay it again at some point. The whole point of Battle for Compton is it's not going to matter what you believe. If you believe anything other than what certain people are trying to make you believe, okay, and force that narrative at you, okay, you're never going to get heard. I mean, everything should get a fair shot. Orlando Anderson get a fair shot. Patton's get a fair shot. Everything should get a fair shot, and everything should be vetted on its own weight. Nothing should be dismissed until somebody goes in front of the man in the black robe and he says, "You did it." Nothing should be dismissed, because we don't know. And, that's the point. We just don't know. So until that happens, no one can say somebody did or didn't do anything. That's where I'm coming from, and that's really what I believe.
Shout out to Robbie Levener. He said, "First time viewing live. You guys are awesome." Well, shout out to you. Thank you for coming on the live stream. I have something to answer. People are asking about the Suge Knight television show and why it never came out. I'm in contact with someone who is a former business partner of Suge's. He asked for me not to mention his name in public, but he said when it came to that VH1 show, that they were in production for it, they were running promos for it, but what Suge wanted the show to do, and what I believe it was VH1, what VH or E wanted to do were two different things, and they weren't able to reach an agreement on exactly what direction they wanted the show to go in. So that's why that fell apart. Oh,
you talking about the Asian guy?
No comment.
Oh, it says remove any web addresses. Okay, yes. I was putting the web address for Amazon.com. Battle for Compton is on Amazon.com, as is, I think the other two are on there as well. Nickenzio1, RJ, do you believe Keefe D's story? Answer, no, I don't. That's it. I think it's a bunch of crap. I think he made a bunch of shit up. I think that he buried a lot of things that he had heard or things that he may have witnessed and kind of collated this story and coalesced this story together. So I don't. Time may change that, but right now I don't. Not at all.
And the show, it's not about being picked up. It never actually finished production. They did a couple episodes of it, and then there was a fallout about direction. So I don't know if that means not picked up, but they were paying to have the show done. They filmed a lot of it. It just, the falling out was between Suge and the production company.
Rolex Enterprises said, I wonder why Suge dropped Kenner, the man who saved Snoop from going to jail. Actually, the truth is, it's kind of funny about that. You know, Suge officially dismissed Kenner as his attorney, but later on, not even a month ago, and it's actually in Jesse's video, if you go and watch his Suge video, he's asking to talk to David Kenner, and he's mad at the judge because he can't talk to David Kenner. So, and he mentions David Kenner by name in the video. So Kenner's he's still around, but I think he's doing more of a kind of a less official role and kind of steering things from, you know, from the back, which sounds kind of familiar to me, you know, a little string manipulation, a little pulling and a little influence in the background without being directly out front. Sounds kind of familiar to me. So.
And RJ did talk to Keith Davis. We Are the Don.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and he said it was all bullshit. That's what he said. Maybe we should play that interview again. Let's see here.
And that's the thing, listen.
Big Boys Boxing. Sorry, yeah, my keyboard gets a little clacky. I forgot it's on that when I was looking for it. Yeah, it sounds like it sounds rather rough when I'm clacking away on the keyboard. Sorry about that.
And we're going to be giving away signed copies of Battle for Compton. I'm going to sign it, RJ's going to sign it, and we're going to forge Mike Carlin's signature. So we'll be doing that shortly.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it in crayon.
But if people have to ask what they want, do they want the Tupac double feature, which is parts 1 and 2? That's that. Do they want the original Assassination? By the way, this is the collector's item, folks. Scoop it up while you can still get it. This was the original, the green packaging, the one and only. That was the original. Then we had the remaster of it. That was always a good looking box cover. Although it was a very limited edition. That came out, I think, in 2012. I think it was a very limited edition.
Have that one.
Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? It's a nice cover. But the reason is because we were putting it. We had Volume 2, which had the same image but a different color on it. We're going to do Part 3 the same way. We're going to do that exact same way. Then we had the 2013 versions, which was the Tupac Conspiracy, and then, of course, Tupac Aftermath. And those are the ones that are actually on sale right now. You get those through MVD. So a little plug on the DVDs there, since we're plugging things tonight.
To address Easy 808, every mod on my channel will get a signed DVD. I'll take care of that. I appreciate your hard work, and I will take care of that.
Yeah.
I actually still have some sitting over in my China cabinet that we signed back in, or RJ signed back in 2013.
Yeah. And the soundtrack, boy, now you're talking about that. The Tupac Assassination soundtrack, that's like the golden goose. Everybody wants a copy of that. I actually do it. Where is my copy of that? Do I still have my copy floating around here somewhere?
No, you gave it to me.
Oh, I did, didn't I? That's right. I forgot. Not to sound like Frank, but I forgot about that. I did give that to you, didn't I? Yeah, that was the import copy of that Assassination soundtrack. Wow. See how much I love you? See? Let's tell you that. All right. The Kenny McLean says, are you guys still in agreement with Michael Carlin? Have you officially gone your separate ways with different beliefs? That happened a long time ago, Ken. I'm glad that you're tuning into the show. You probably would have heard maybe about a few months back that there's been some definite departure in terms of that. And you know what, to be perfectly honest with you, there's a lot of misconceptions about that and trying to clear the air of it. Even Reggie had some misconceptions about trying to separate what was my belief and what was my what convictions I held to versus what was put out later. And you know, ultimately, the best thing I can tell you is that, and I'll just put it this way: there are reasons that certain things were not in Battle for Compton. Okay, for example, was that claim that Reggie Sr. was in the MGM Grand? Okay, was that claim made before we made Battle for Compton? 100% absolutely it was. Carlin had heard it. Somebody identified him and said it was Reggie's dad. Didn't make it in Battle for Compton. And that's because I edit Battle for Compton. I'm the final edit of Battle for Compton. So if there's something in there that I'm not agreeing with, it isn't going in there. And there's a reason that things didn't make it into that edit. Okay. So that will just kind of tell you. And if you want to know the difference, go to Michael Carlin's YouTube page and see what he's promoting and see what he's put out there. And then go back and look at the pre-Battle for Compton material and Battle for Compton and just do a compare and contrast. And you'll kind of get it just really fast about what was, kind of where the two camps lay. So let's see. So
I have one that I'm sorry to interrupt. I have one that I would like you to address. Jack Bauer 24 said, "Is it true what Michael Carlin said about Russ Poole being killed inside the meeting at the office?"
That's absolutely false. That's an absolutely false thing. I speak on a regular basis, although not as often as I'd like to, with Megan, his Russ's wife, with his kids. I can tell you with 100% certainty, not a single rational person believes that in a minute. Okay, we believe exactly what we've surmised about Russ. That the family has all of the coroner reports and all the autopsy reports they need. I think it's interesting that Michael claimed to have a good relationship with the family, but at the end of the day, the family had all of the autopsy reports, and he's on YouTube asking the public to get him a copy of the autopsy report. So, and I'm not bashing Michael. I'm not. That's not the intent here. But the intent is to say 100%. No rational person believes that actually happened. Period. And there's no proof of it either. How come Reggie can't read word enough to say Jmix? He still says JMX. Well, maybe he's just fun. Maybe he's just fucking around with him doing it that way. I don't know.
I think he is. He knows it's JMX. I think that I think Reggie's found he's kind of found the internet, and I think that Reggie is kind of trolling me a little bit with that. I think it's funny. DJ Gare asked if I'd interview Bokeem Woodbine. Of course I would. Of course I would.
Ask him why he sold out. Why he took everything he knew about Tupac and decided to play Darren Dupree. That's what actors do. By the way, so Jose Maya, how do you guys know that's really Reggie? Actually, the truth matter is we've got it confirmed a couple of different ways. Also, too,
I mean, I did talk to him. How do you think that I got him on to do the interview?
Somebody. Yeah. Hold on. William Greer, you missed the interview. Your internet's missed. I hope your internet gets better. We'll see you on the next show for sure. Yeah, that's right. I forgot Carlin said that Reggie robbed a casino with Eazy-E. I forgot about that one. There was another question that somebody asked. It was a really good one.
Kenneth N. asked, RJ or Jmix, do you think if Suge is backed into a corner far enough in his trial that he would ever give up anything on the Biggie or Pac murders that would incriminate Reggie or anyone else responsible?
You want to answer that, or you want me to answer that?
I mean, I don't think... I mean, I can give it a shot. I don't think that Suge I don't think that he has any information that would apply. I think that Suge being a victim in it has been in the dark about a lot of the information involved. Now, when it comes to the Biggie murder, possible, but if you follow Greg Kading's logic, whatever information he would have would tie right back to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, that's the same complaint we have about Keith Davis. If you really want to believe Keith Davis, why isn't he being prosecuted for being an accessory after the fact? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Why not? So I was going to say, Clayton Gibson, what are your thoughts on the Johnny Depp Russell Poole movie? Can't wait to see it. It keeps getting pushed back a bunch. On the Suge Knight thing, real quick, I just get the feeling that nobody's in any particular rush to try him just because they already got him in jail. So the longer they can put off trying him, the better. But in terms of his snitching, I think he's already snitching. I think he's trying everything he can. He's taking every tack he possibly can to try to make life easier for himself and still see some free air while he's still alive. And, of course, prosecution doesn't want that. It's really a travesty kind of what's been happening with him. But I do think that, to be honest with you, the LA prosecutor's office doesn't give a shit about the murders. Because if they prove that there was murders involved, then it goes back to that age-old question, were there LA cops involved? Well, there's two schools of thought there. Suge's thought, Reggie's thought, they're different. But once you start picking at that scab again, it's starting to bleed. Here we go again. And I don't think the LA City, LA County wants that grief anymore. So I don't think they're interested in it. I don't think that the federal prosecutors in the Reggie case are interested, and they don't care about 20-year-old murders. They care about drugs. They care about money laundering. They care about things that are affecting people now, not something that happened 20 years ago. So that's what I think. Yeah, and Ray, he did say he knew Suge since he was 7 or 8. I mean, they're definitely age-old friends, and they did everything together. Reggie was right there when everything was going down. So that's what makes a conversation that I would have with him, I think, a good one, because I think it would be a damn good interview if it would be nothing else. So that's it. Let's see, maybe I can grab one more question and then I'm going to jump, because we ran a little bit over. I thought longer than I was going to. Jesse, you got a good one for me? Did you see anyone?
Yeah, I was asked about who shot Suge at One Oak Club. I don't think that's been determined. I just think that it is. It's very coincidental
Some guy they
about
dropped
the
off at the
timing.
airport. Yeah, some dude they dropped off at the airport.
Well, what do you think about that? I mean, there's a story behind that. You want to address the One Oak shooting and the timing?
Well, the One Oak shooting. I mean, we dropped a documentary we dropped a book that said that Suge Knight was a victim, and that he believed he was a victim, and that we were told he was a victim of the Vegas shooting, that he was actually a victim and not a suspect in it, and he started to help us, vindicating what we had to say, validating what we had to say, whether or not that is Culpepper wants to admit it or not. But the other part of it is that right after that book dropped, which talked about corrupt cops and talked about the corrupt people of the sheriff's department, which led to Battle for Compton, talking more about it, then all of a sudden Suge Knight gets shot, okay? And they're saying, you killed Tupac, and they shot him. Well, again, that could be just an extension of the narrative, and I think that's what everybody's curious to find out. But it was proven that there was an LA County sheriff that let the shooter in the back door of the nightclub without going through the front door, without going through the metal detector or anything else, and that this guy, the shooters, shot Suge, and that apparently there's video of the sheriff's guys actually taking the shooters to the airport and dropping them off at LAX. So that tells you that they were traveling from someplace else, which is really interesting. But that's kind of what I know about that in a nutshell, without doing a whole show about that. See here.
I tell you what, if you will, RJ, just take that last question. I gotta jump just for a second, and I'll be back in before you go. Okay, just 1 sec. I need
what
1
question?
sec.
What was the last question?
I don't know. I was gonna let you pick it.
Oh, okay. GM Kazi, I think we'll just give you the last one here. How long will Suge's trial last realistically? Is it swift or is it long standing? Actually, most trials are usually about a week. They don't last too much longer than that, even in the more aggravated ones. OJ's was a little bit longer than that because there was a lot of press and a lot of media, and they really bought into it. Suge's isn't going to be like that because they don't want the media attention like the OJ thing. And partially because of the OJ thing, the prosecutors want it to end up in their favor, and so they'll do everything they can to get it through. I mean, the Tams case is pretty open and shut. The video's there. I mean, hit somebody with a truck and ran them over. I mean, the question just becomes, does it rise to the standard of murder in the first degree? So that's just kind of what, what it is, You say, Ken said in Texas, there's a lot of trials that last 1 day. There's a lot of trials in Texas that don't even last an hour. They get hung, and that's that. So they definitely, it can go fast. But in a case like this, there's going to be a few people that are going to take the stand, and I don't think it's going to be a day trial, only because there's enough people that are going to be witnesses to what happened in the days surrounding it that would rise to give motive, because motive is part of the entire murder thing, especially at the standard that they put out there. So anyway, so that's it for me, kids. Thanks, Jesse, like always, man. It's always good to see you. And thanks for everybody. Like I said, we couldn't do this without you. We appreciate every single one of you all. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your dog. If your dog can get the internet, get them an iPad, put them on there, and get an iPad for the dog. They have pads on the foot, so you get an iPad. And they can go, and we don't talk too high that a dog probably couldn't understand half of what we're talking about anyway, right? So grab 2 of your friends, and let's see our numbers go up a little bit. And as always, again, we can't do it without you. But we got some big things coming on the way. We got footage, interviews. We got recorded conversations. We're going to clear house. So you guys will benefit. It's about the content, like we've said a million times. And we will talk to you guys soon. Jesse, I'm out.
All right. Thank you, RJ. Hey all, it's Jmix here, and I want to thank everybody that took the time to watch the video. If you liked it, go ahead and throw it a like, maybe even a comment down below. And if you really like my content, check out my Patreon. The link is down below. For $1 a month, you get all the live streams, unedited as soon as they happen, plus interviews in advance and other bonus content. The link is in the description. If not, you guys could always watch one of the videos to the side of me. See you on the next upload. One love, everybody.